the fuck out. We are here to have real conversations about real issues. And today we have a great guest, brother that I have a lot of respect for. I would say he's a rapper, but that would actually understate the amount of work that he's done for the world. He's an activist, a mogul, just a smart guy. And Mr. O'Shea Jackson, aka Ice Cube. How you doing, man? How you doing today, bro?
Hey, what's happening? How you feeling?
I'm feeling good, man. Feeling good. Glad to have you, man. Glad to have you. All right,
Glad to be here.
Well, let's jump in. Let's jump right into the conversation, man. So you've been really vocal lately about politics. In terms of, I know you've always been political, right? You know, as an artist and stuff like that. I mean, you originated a lot of the ideas that are mobilizing people now. You know, when you wrote "Fuck the Police" a long time ago, that was very radical back then. It's still radical now, but now people kind of get what you're saying. What's driving your political engagement in 2020?
Well, not only is it our turn as far as my generation, you know, we've seen other leaders take the mantle and run with it. And now it's our turn. You know, we're not youngins no more. And you know, we still know what time it is too. So we're in a position to make change. And so I always felt like I was waiting for the right moment. You know, with my music, you know, you do your music as an artist, you want to expand your horizons and hopefully bring your fans with you. And sometimes you end up ahead of the curve. And sometimes being ahead of the curve is just as bad as being behind the curve, because people think, you know, don't know what tip you on. And then they catch up years later and say, you know, the album that didn't sell was your best one. You know what I mean? So it's like, so I was kind of waiting for the right time where everybody was on the right page, on the same page and in tune. And this George Floyd situation, to me, was a point where we all were in tune. We were all in the same tune. And it was time to show leadership. You know, with you know, there's leadership out there, not saying that the people that's out there has been fighting for years every day are not showing leadership, but you know, a person that's in my position from this generation, I just thought it was my time to show leadership.
Mm. Well, let me ask you. Let me tell you about something, man. One thing we talk about on this platform is we use the hashtag #B1, and everybody who agrees with #B1 and knows what that means, type hashtag #B1 in the chat. And you may have heard it, but you can probably figure out what it means. But basically, it means Black first. That we're tired of being second fiddle to everybody else. We're tired of carrying water for other people. We're tired of putting other people's needs ahead of our own because our needs are the greatest. I mean, we need the most. And to some would say we have the most potential, but we tend to put other people ahead of ourselves. One of the things that really impressed me about your political activism is typically when a person in the music industry or entertainment becomes political, it's a very how can I say almost neutered kind of strategy. Like I kind of want to be Black, but I don't want to be too Black because I don't want to alienate people. You came out 100% Black. I mean, you didn't say, you know, when you wrote your contract for Black America, it wasn't a contract for diverse America. It wasn't a contract with all of America. It wasn't all lives matter kind of thing. It was very, very, very Black. And I appreciate that personally. I'd be curious to know what that process is like for you and what kind of pushback you get when you just come 100% Black like that.
I mean, it's a natural process for me. It's the way I go and the way I lean. And to me, it's time for us to deal with issues that affect us only. You know, when you hear the word minority, there's a lot of other people included in that. And sometimes we get left out, even when they say minorities, we're left out. So I wanted to be very specific, let people know this is a contract to help Black America. And when you help Black America, you help all of America. It's called shoring up the weakest link. And we're not weak people, but they've made us economically weak. You know, they've made us politically weak. And so, you know, it's really time to shore that up and become strong. And I think other communities will benefit off of us, you know, fixing our situation. So I just think it's very important for us, not just me, but all of us as Black people, to not worry about what's going on with everybody else's problems right now. We got to deal with our problems and fix them. And we have to be laser focused on that. And so, to be honest, I really don't, I ain't gonna say care, but I'm not concerned when people don't get it. You know, I'm more concerned with the people that get it. You know, I'd rather have a few moving in the same direction than a bunch, you know, moving all different directions. So more and more Black people are realizing that we have to worry about us at this point in time. And this won't be our posture forever. You know, once we get our situation together, then we'll reach out and reach to fix other communities like we've always had. You know, we've always reached out to help and wherever we could in all these other communities, but now it's time for all those other communities to reach out and help us get off the mat. You know, we on the mat. We trying to get up.
Well, I love it. I love it. All right, everybody. In case you just came in, I'm speaking with O'Shea Jackson, aka Ice Cube, and we're talking about his contract with Black America.
Now, when you call me O'Shea Jackson, I look around to see my son. He done took that name. You know, that's, you know, he done.
Now, what name
I kept it undercover as Ice Cube, you know, forever. But he done took the name, and now, you know, if you say O'Shea Jackson, you got to say O'Shea Jackson Senior. And I'm looking around for my pops when you say that. So, you know, call me Cube. All
right, Cube. All right, sounds good, man. Sounds good, brother. Yeah, so I'm speaking with Cube, and he is. We're talking about his contract with Black America, and you guys know a few weeks ago we talked about that. We covered that, and I'll tell you, man. When I went through and I read it, I was really impressed with the detail. I mean, this is not, and everybody watching, I encourage you to go take a look at this. This was not. I mean, this document to me was on the level of like a Declaration of Independence type of thing. You know, like I'm a big fan of Dr. Claude Anderson and Powernomics. And I don't know if you heard about Powernomics, but you know, Kanye's talked about it a lot. A lot of people talking about this book. And Charlemagne had him on the Breakfast Club, and it really resonated. And it was like a dream come true because the solutions are out there, right? We got people that know what the problem is and how to solve it, but we don't listen to the people that know how to solve the problem. And so when I read Contract with Black America, I put it on the same level, the same way I felt when I first read Powernomics. It was like, okay, they really thought about this. They really broke this down. I'd be curious to hear from you, you know, because it seemed like a document that one person, you just couldn't write by themselves. Can you speak to the formation of that, you know, who was involved and what the thought process was behind it?
Well, a few years ago, before I started the Big Three, me and my partner, Jeff Watkins, we put together what was called the American Jobs Pack, and it was a cool program where the community could work with industry, could work with the government, and nobody spent an extra dime to work with each other and get training, community service. You know, you fill your work, you know, the jobs you need. So it was a great plan. And then I started the Big Three, and it kind of absorbed all my time trying to start a professional basketball league from scratch. Just absorbs all your brain space. So we kind of put that to the side. And then when the George Floyd thing happened, I was thinking we do need our own Declaration of Independence. You know, it's a trip that you make that same analogy, because I said we need something that deals with all these problems. Now, look, this ain't nothing new. You know, I didn't bring out anything that's not obvious, that they know about. There's smart people who helped me. You know, people like uh, uh, Robert Jones, people, Chris Broussard, who even helped us out, who had a plan for neo reconstruction. And then, you know, you had other people helping me out on these other aspects of it. You know, we even had people like Derek Hamilton, who's a great economic scholar, really focus on helping us fine tune it. You know, we've gotten advice from people like Andrew Young. So, you know, we went across the board and was real broad on trying to make sure we, you know, touched all the points. And then it was just really about actually adding real hard data to it, you know, and not just have these broad strokes, but have data that really, you know, kind of coincided with what we was asking for and talking about. And so doing that, it just became very comprehensive. You know, it was a thing that really showed that we were on target and we was hitting all the points. Now, the politicians know this. This is nothing new. I didn't come up with rocket science. It's political will. We got to make them do this. It's nothing they'll say, oh man, I didn't know all this, Q. Wow, you know, damn, this is an epiphany. I did not know. That's not it. It's about us saying, this is what we want. This is not what we're asking for. This is what we're demanding. And we understand you might not can bite off all of this, but bite off as much as you can chew and see if that satisfies us. Let us see what you can do to push this over the line, because doing little things here and there not going to cut it. So, you know, that was the real approach of putting this together. Now we're in the second phase, make them do it. You know, that's where, you know, brothers like yourself, you know, there's other people out there pushing the same line that, hey, don't just give up that vote for nothing. You know, give it up for something. And if you don't know what you want, tell them you want something that's in the contract with Black America. We wrote something out for you where you can at least say, hey, get this part done, you know? And so, you know, that's the plan, and it's working. We got both sides of the aisle now. You know, first they didn't want to hear what we had to say. Now they're begging for a meeting and a talk. And that's what we want. You know, we want to be heard, and then we want them to support this, because we're not asking for the world. We just want fairness and equality.
Why do you think people are so offended by Black people simply saying we want something for our vote? You know, I get accused a lot. You know, people come up to me, they get mad, like, what, you out here telling Black people not to vote? And I said, well, you need to go through, I've done thousands of videos. You can't find a single time where I've ever said don't vote. I don't tell people what to do. I want you to get the intellectual tools to make your own decision. You are your own greatest Black leader. But I said, you know, it's fascinating to me why you're offended when I simply say to Black people, do what's best for you. Biden's going to do what's best for Biden. Kamala's going to do what's best for Kamala. Trump's going to do what's best for Trump. You do what's best for you. Why do you think people are so offended with the idea of Black people simply saying, I matter? You know, my life matters, my family matters, and what I got going on matters more than what you got going on, because I'm going to take care of me before I take care of you. It seems like that's really offensive to people. Like, they're not used to that. Well, what do you think about that?
I mean, to me, that's white supremacy. You know, it's just a layer of it. You know, thinking that, you know, their business is more important than our business. And on election day, there's going to be a lot of things to vote on, and you may pick and choose the things you really want to vote on, the people you really want to vote on, and then you may choose not to vote on certain other things that you just don't agree with, or people you don't agree with. You know, the thing that you got to go in there and hit every box just because is kind of ridiculous. You should be a little more strategic on what really means things to you. And then people will really come out and seek for your vote. The thing is when any party know they got our vote, no matter what, they stop talking to us. They stop asking about what we want and what we need to get that vote. And we just want to keep the conversation going. That's all. We want you to talk to us and tell us not, what you want, but why you can't do this that we've laid out. Stop asking us for what we want when there's a plan that nobody's really come out strongly against. This plan has been out there for a few months and nobody said, this is ridiculous. Black people don't need any of this. So it's obviously something that makes sense. Asking for 13.5% of a pie doesn't seem like much. We should be getting 25% of the pie, 20% of the pie anyway, just on GP alone. But it's not there's plenty left. You know what I mean? There's over 85% of the pie left for the rest of everybody to, squall over, whatever, fight over. So it's really about being taken serious and them doing what we know they can do. We're not asking them to do something we know that's impossible. They trying to go to Mars. That's, to me, impossible to worry about Mars.
All right.
So, that's the deal to me. It's not impossible. It's very simple, little acts or demand.
I love it. Now I'm gonna switch gears real quick. Now, everybody in here, give me a yes or no if you like Ice Cube's movies, if you've seen the Big Three, if you've seen all the moves that he's made outside of his origins as an artist. Give me a yes or no in the chat if you follow this, because I'll tell you, I remember this guy right here. You see that picture?
Yeah, I remember that picture.
And so this guy right here, this brother right here, even back then, I remember there was something about the way he moved that was a little different from the other artists. There was something about the way he made decisions, life decisions, economic decisions, etc. I mean, you think about it, right? And I'm sure you've reflected on it. You lived through a really chaotic time. I mean, getting through the 90s was kind of tough. A lot of artists didn't make it. A lot of people didn't do well in that time. Let's just say that. But you did. You thrived. You were able to make moves and adjustments in your career and actually get to the point where economically you gained the strength to be able to pursue an agenda that, to me, reflects what the psychologists call self-actualization. Like, what I really see is a guy who says, look, I've conquered, I climbed my mountains, I fought my battles and I won them. Now I'm ready to go and go to that next level. That almost like a Dr. King kind of level where you're trying to, I believe you're trying to really change the world. I believe you've already done it in certain spaces, but I believe you're seeking to do it in a bigger space. That's just my 2 cents on it. Can you talk a little bit about, I'm a financial guy and I can't help but to go into that area of wealth mindset in terms of what your thinking was just as a businessman, going all the way back to when you walked away from Jerry Heller contracts to when you made your moves in terms of the film industry and you became an owner in that industry. And now you actually have a sports league, the Big Three, when you have a lot of guys that just believe that it's impossible for a Black man to start a sports league. You did that. Talk a little bit about your mindset when it comes to wealth and how wealth and just that thinking ties into everything else you're able to do as a human being.
Well, I think, I've always looked at, money as a tool. A lot of people look at money as a god. They really, do anything for the money, and nothing's more important than the money. I've never been like that. I've always put people in front of money. So that made me, I guess, have a different view of it. And how to use it. And sometimes, sometimes, you don't just go one way. Sometimes it's cool to own totally. Sometimes it's cool to raise the money and do something, bigger than yourself. So, I've learned that over the years, through trial and error. Some things really worked, some things didn't work. The things that really worked, are very visible. The things that didn't work wasn't. Then, uh, doing a league, wanting to, own a big share of it, and raising that kind of money in that area. A league is something very unique. People put their money in a lot of stuff, but most sports leagues don't make it. So I learned a big lesson, raising money with a sports league, over raising money for a movie. Or we raised almost $10 billion to try to buy the regional sports networks that was available when Disney bought Fox. We came up, pretty much like 11 hours short. So it was pretty. That was another lesson. So you learn your lessons on, with money. But if you think of it as a tool to get you to another place in life or in your project, the whole thing is to live to fight another day. So that's really been my raw philosophy about it. Without going to any kind of schools or taking any kind of courses, it's just, to me, common sense usually wins the day. Greed usually, it's a saying. Pigs get fat, hogs get slaughtered. So when
Wow.
you're too greedy,
Wait, you do know that I said that yesterday, right?
Oh,
Did you
you
know
said
that?
that one.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I mean, no, man,
Yeah, all right.
it's funny that you say that, because I literally said that yesterday. I was saying that you want to be a boss, but don't be a boss hog, because
Yeah,
nobody wants to work with a boss hog, like on the Dukes of Hazzard. Like
yeah.
literally that whole hog mentality, that pure capitalist. I got to have it all. I'm gonna screw people over for money. Like that doesn't work. So we talked about that yesterday. It's crazy that you said that.
Great minds think alike, brother.
I guess so. Well, I consider that a compliment, man. You one of the greatest minds there is. Much respect, brother. Everybody who's watching, I'm speaking with Cube. I did call him O'Shea Jackson, but he said O'Shea Jackson Sr., but I'm not going to even say that. We're going to just say Cube, Mr.
Yeah.
Ice Cube. Do me a favor, hit the thumbs up button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button. Make sure you sign up at drboycetv.com, the home for intelligent Black people. So let me ask you this question. I'm going to ask you another question, because I'd love to get your thoughts on this. And I've heard this in your music. And by the way, if anybody's not still listening to Cube's music, the way you used to, you got to go listen, because I'm gonna tell you, I feel like the music got better because I could see the evolution in your thinking through the years. I believe artists good artists anyway, pour their soul and their their psyche into their music, so you can really get introspection into how they think, almost like the way an author might write a book and things like that. And one of the things I noticed is it seemed to me like you feel some kind of way about the transition of hip hop music through the years, you going back from the early 90s to today. What have you observed in hip hop, and just kind of as an OG in the game, somebody who understands it, what would you say are your observations and how it's impacted particularly our community over time?
It's exactly what hip hop is and what hip hop describes, which is the good, the bad, and the ugly. It's been good for our community, bad for our community, and ugly in some instances. But I think in a lot of ways that's by design. I think hip hop was hijacked in the '90s, and it was steered a certain way. So artists who was really on black tip, real, talking about the motherland and wearing African medallions and all those were systematically pushed to the back for escapism rap, dope, cars, women, drugs, money, just excess. So I just think, the new artists looking at that want to emulate what's successful. So there's the cycle of, losing hip hop to that, basically to the temptations of the devil, so to speak. But there's always a consciousness. There's always underground artists who, hold the line and keep the consciousness pulling back towards, our righteous self. So, that's the undercurrent. That's the real hip hop that's true in a lot of ways. And then you got the business of hip hop that's still in a lot of ways caught up in the glitz and glamour that's feeling like it's like damn near we in a hangover after a crazy ass party. You spend all your money and you ain't got nothing to show for it. You know what I'm saying? So we seem like we're coming out of that. People want consciousness. And I've always been an artist who I'm not gonna follow the trends or the times. I might have a song or two, but for the most part, I feel like you should go deep inside to find your album, not outside. You shouldn't be looking at everything else. You should be looking inside for your record. And that's where I find mine. I find them inside and I do them. And I'm satisfied with whatever they do, So if they're real successful, I'm happy. If they're niche and just a few people really love them, I'm just satisfied because it's in music is in the eye of the beholder. It's each fan or each person listening gonna get something different out of it. So.
I like that. I like that. Well, I'm gonna tell you what. I'm going to ask you one more question, and I'd love to get your thoughts on this because I think it's a question. It's a question out of respect for something that I believe in. I think I'd like to get your thoughts on this. There's a guy by the name of Minister Louis Farrakhan who has received what I consider to be unfair criticism through the years, but he's important to me, and the reason he's important to me is because I think that if you go back to the Joe Biden, Bill Clinton crime bill and what that did to decimate the Black community, war on drugs, everything else, so many guys dead or in prison, I feel like the world is waiting for the Black man to reemerge, and this is one of the reasons why I was so impressed and really just proud of what you're doing, man, because I think that the community will rise when the Black man rises. And I feel like Minister Louis Farrakhan is one of those men that represents something special for Black men that we can hold on to. And I just will defend that to the death. I don't care. They can call him anti this, whatever. That's bullshit to me. Can you speak to what Farrakhan and just the idea of us as Black men, the importance of our role in this whole process? I mean, we're kind of fucking up the apple cart right now. Like they mad at us because we're not going for the. Speak to that a little bit, the minister as well as the role of Black men in all of this.
Well, to me, it's really all about the positive messages that the minister has been giving out for years, as far as us cleaning up, getting off them drugs, getting off that alcohol, taking care of our women better, just doing things to stand up straight. The world won't accept us until we stand up straight. Walking to the world, with pants, they don't want us gangstered out. You know what I'm saying? That ain't gonna work. So we gotta burn this candle at both ends, so to speak, meaning as we push the government to do things right by us, we gotta start doing things right by us. And that's the, overwhelming message that Minister Farrakhan pushes. to the people. You know, some people are upset with other messages, you know, that they may consider anti-Semitic. You know, I'm not supporting any kind of division. You know what I'm saying? I think we should support bringing people together. So that's really what I'm on is like, what can we do to bring people together? And some people don't want to see us together. We got to accept that too. You know, we got to accept the fact that some people don't want us together and some people just want to see us apart. And we can't buy into that. And we can't let people pick our heroes for us either. So, you know, to me, there's only a few people out there speaking for Black people and trying to get us to be stand-up human beings, respectable human beings. And Minister Farrakhan is one of those. That's why I support him.
All right. Well, I love it, man. I love it. Well, you know, brother, I'm sure you have a lot of stuff going on, man, and I'm extremely appreciative that you stopped by. Of course, the door is always open, man, and you know, we're here, man. You know, we love what you're doing, and I want everybody watching. First of all, if you could give our guest, Mr. Ice Cube, a digital thank you, digital round of applause. Also, give me a verbal yes confirmation. I don't just want you watching. I want action, action, action. Give me a verbal confirmation, yes, that you're going to go Google the contract with Black America, go read it, go share it, you know, hit that link, put it on your social media, tell everybody about it, and stand for what you believe in. We're not going to tell you what to do, but I don't know. I don't know if you see my shirt, but this is how I'm voting. Now, let me ask you this. So if somebody was to ask you who you're voting for in the election, what would you say to them?
For me, who I'm voting for?
Yeah.
Well, for one, I'm gonna see who's down with the Black and the brown, and then I'm gonna go from there.
All right. I love it. I love it. All right, man. Well, thank you very much, brother, for hanging out. And in fact, just stay on the line for 1 second. I'll just, that way I can give you say a proper goodbye. Everybody, I'm Ice Cube. Go check out the contract with Black America. Don't just chat about it. Like, do something. Do something. You're part of our distribution.
We got to demand it. We got to demand it.
There you go. That's right. So go to the website. Go look it up. Is there? Do you have the website on hand by chance? Where people can find it?
If you just go to cwba.world, you'll get that. cwba.world.
All right, cwba.world. So everybody go, let's go crash the website and support what this brother got going on. This is an extraordinary document. I read through it myself and I really liked it. And I think this is what we need. So vote your conscience, be strong, and God bless everybody for listening. Thank you guys for hanging out. Make sure you hit the subscribe and thumbs up button and share button before you go. And we will see you guys soon. Take care now. Peace.